Good morning, everyone. It's Mr. T back again with another episode of the Chromeworks Club. How are we all today? Oh, I see some people have joined us. That's excellent. I was wondering whether we'd have any kids here. I saw a lot of crickets in the chat until just now. So, welcome. All of you guys should be back into school now, or most of you should have. I know that there's still a lot of chaos and craziness going on in the school system, but I hope you're all settling in and getting ready to learn some stuff. We're going to learn some great stuff today ourselves. I've got some really, really fun stuff lined up for you. I'm going to show you our new RPG game in a minute. We're going to show at least one remix. We're going to do a little renovation on one of Salima's games from way back during the summer. And we're going to look at our block of the week, which has to do with telling time. So very, very exciting stuff. So we got a few things lined up. Let's see who's over in the chat right now. Oh, actually, before I introduce everyone else, let's introduce our new member of the stream here. I'd like to introduce you guys to Jake, who is a co-op student here in Ottawa, who's going to be joining me for the next couple of months. He's on a virtual co-op placement, which means that he's going to be helping me out as my slave labor for the next couple of months and doing it as part of his school courses. So everyone say hi to Jake. Hi, Jake. Jake, are you there? Whoa, I am not talking. Oh, no. Okay. Well, my microphone was muted, guys. That's unfortunate. No one bothered to to mention that to me. Okay, welcome, guys. I've got a great stream lined up for you guys. Sorry about that. I had my microphone muted for the first little bit, so I'm not going to bother with the introductions, just because I think you guys on YouTube will already have heard them, but anyone on Discord, you've probably been watching me moving my lips until now. So, so Jake, you want to say hi to the audience here?
Hey everybody.
Hey, so
I'm Jake.
Yeah, so as I was saying, sorry, I was muted over on Discord. So Jake is the co-op student who's going to be working with me on the live streams for the next couple of months. Tell us about yourself, Jake.
I'm 16. I play a lot of video games and I play a lot of sports. I play competitive hockey and I do competitive football. I also play video games competitively. I'm just looking to get some educational benefits out of this co-op, so I'm looking to interact with you guys. I'm looking to teach you guys, really help you guys out. I'm also looking to help Mr. T out with the technological side of things, so make quality of life easier, you know, up the stream quality, all that.
Good. Yeah, so we're looking to build our audience for the new season, and Jake's going to be helping me out with that. And so if anyone on the Discord wants to talk to Jake at any point, you can just type a message into the Ask Jake stream there, or if you just want to wait in the backstage area, he can have a chat with you as well back there, and he'll be monitoring that through the course of the session. Let's see who else is online here today. So over on Discord, we've got Chris. Good morning, Chris. Chris isn't monitoring his microphone. Chris is over in England. Yeah, which is really cool. And we've got Peter over in Scotland. So we've got good morning, Peter.
Morning.
Good morning. I haven't seen you for a while, Peter. What have you been up to?
Not much.
Not much. Are you back in school again, buddy?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it's nice to have you back. Anyway, so we got
Nice to meet you.
Yeah. So so we've got a good international representation. I don't see very many people from Ottawa here. Over on the YouTube chat, though, we have Gamer Davey, who's from here in Ottawa. Hey, Davey. And anyone else on the YouTube chat who wants to say hi, just type a hello out, and I'll give you a shout out on the stream, guys. So it's looking like we're pretty good there. Okay, so before I get started with the teaching part, I just wanted to say that I'm still looking for volunteers. I put out a little announcement on Discord. I want some of my regular kids who are really experts at Scratch to try and do a little pilot project with me. You guys spent the whole summer getting great at Scratch. And my idea is that I would like to teach Scratch to your class at school, basically to one of your lucky classes at school. So if one of you volunteers and talks to your teacher and gets it all arranged, what I would do is do a live stream lesson, kind of like this one, but we go back and do my original cat and mouse lesson. You, my trusty student who knows all about Scratch, would be working in your classroom to help kids solve problems and learn how to do Scratch. You'd be my eyes and ears in the classroom, and so I would be interacting with your class via YouTube. You'd be talking back to me via Zoom or Google Meet or whatever we want to do, and your teacher could contact me that way. So we wouldn't have to worry about privacy. We wouldn't necessarily have to have the kids on stream, but we could have you passing messages back and forth to me, and any kids who were comfortable could get on the stream. So I was thinking it would be a really cool little exercise in teaching from a distance, right? Have me do a lesson to as many classrooms that want to watch. It can be more than one class at the same time as well. So the plan all along has been to teach lots and lots of kids this way, and I think one of the ways to do it now that school is back in session is to get your classrooms involved. That means that I'm going to have to talk to your teachers. So if any of you want to volunteer for that, just reach out to me, and we will I will talk to your teachers, and we'll see if we can get something arranged. First step though, have a chat with your teacher, see if they're interested in maybe doing this kind of thing, and if they are, then we'll proceed from there. So hopefully I'll hear back from some of you guys. Okay, so let's get started with our activities for the day. All right, so our lesson of the week is a fantasy RPG game. You guys have been talking about this for a while, and I think it was Thane who started bugging me about this way back in, it was over a month or so ago anyway, and I've been talking to Jeffrey about it, and we really were interested in the idea of doing a big, meaty project. We've been doing a lot of little stuff that we get done in 1 week, but RPGs are quite complicated, and there's a lot going on there, and so we thought this would be a good chance to try something over a multi-week cycle. So what we're going to do is we've started developing this gigantic RPG game. Let me show it to you guys first before we go any further with it. So let me give you a little preview of what our game's going to look like. So this is just part one. This is what we're going to do this week. I'm going to be releasing the video at 11 o'clock that teaches you how to do this. So it's a samurai themed RPG. You can see that there's skeletons and they take damage when you hit them with your sword. You're moving around, and so this week we're just getting the combat system up and running so that you can shoot. Watch, I'm going to let this guy attack me, and so he does damage to me, and when they kill me, I lean over and die that way. And so we've got a fairly decent combat system going. Jeffrey's coded this for me and done a fantastic job. So this is just the start. We're going to get this part done this week, and then as the weeks progress, we're going to add stuff to it. So next week we're going to add maps to it. We've got a system going where if there's a room available to go to the right, for example, a little arrow will show up here on the right, and you go off the screen and you'll appear on a new map. The new maps will have different backgrounds and different items and stuff on them. Eventually we're going to have it set up so you can pick up items on the screen like keys and stuff like that to unlock doors. And we'll set up a system for that. And then last step is we're going to add a boss to the game as well, some kind of a winning condition to the game. So this is an open-ended gaming system. We built it right from the ground up to be something that you can add to yourself or modify to make your own stuff. And along the way, I'm going to teach you guys how to add and modify stuff to turn this into your own game. So rather than making my game, I want you guys to make your own RPG game, but use my ideas to do it. So that's kind of the plan with this thing. So one of the things that I really wanted to emphasize this week that I want to show you guys is this new animation system that Jeffrey set up for me. I explain it more in detail in the actual video, which will be released at 11. But there's really the way that we've set this up right now is it's all keyed into the costume names of the characters. So if we look at our player character here, for example, he's got a whole bunch of idle animation costumes. And the script will cycle through these basically, and it'll automatically cycle through all the ones that say idle. It'll go, there's I think 8 of these here, and when it's done, it'll cycle back to the beginning again. It'll keep doing that until you tell it to change animation. and then it'll pick whatever animation you told it to go to, and it'll cycle through those. The cool thing about it is it doesn't matter how many frames of animation there are. The script is smart enough to go back and start replaying the animation only for the thing that you want it to. You guys know that when you do like a next costume, it'll automatically go through every single available costume, and it takes some tricks to get them to do just the idle animation or just the fighting animation. And so I'm going to show you guys how customizable this code is. It's really fantastic. So there's really two blocks that are involved. There's one called, or two chunks of code. There's one called reset player over here, and there's one underneath it here, a defined block called set animation. And so if you drag these two blocks into any of your projects, you can use it to control the animation of your project. I want to give you guys an example of how that's going to work. So let me show you right now. I've got a little Scratch project here just with a cat against a background here. I've gone ahead and created a couple of costumes for him. So I've got two walk animations, those are the default ones. I created an idle animation that has him just wiggling his arms around there. I've got a flying animation. It's not really him flying, it's just I grabbed the flying icon and then a couple of other ones, and I've got him wiggling his arms around here basically. So I copied over just those same blocks that I showed you here from the RPG file basically, and so now we can use these things to control his animation. So we created a custom block here. Let me show it to you. It's called set animation, and so anytime you want to in your code here, you can tell Scratch what to do, what animation to be wearing, just by putting a bit of information into one of these set animation blocks. So for example, the costume that I've set up here is called Walk, and it's got two different costumes. So I can just type Walk here under the name of the animation. So I'll type Walk. And then wait time is the speed of the animation. So I'll go 0.1. So that's the delay time between the frames of animation. And then we put a 1 or a 0 here, depending on whether we want it looping or not. So we want this animation to be looping. I'll just type in 1 here. And check out what happens here when I, so in order for this to work, this reset player thing has to be running. So we could set that off with a green flag, or I'll just click it here to get it running. So now that it's clicking, it's going to the default animation, which is just an idle animation here. It was just the last one that was set basically. But as soon as I click on the set animation, he'll change to a walking animation. And the other one was flying, right? So, so if I want to type in flying here, and then click on it. Now we go through that flying animation that I was doing here. And so we can use these different blocks to control his animation. I'll do an idle one here as well. So when I click on idle, now he goes back to the idle animation. If I add a 0 here instead of a 1 in that last parameter, then it won't loop. And the idea is it'll just run it once. So watch, he'll go through the flying animation once. So I'll click now. And you see he go through it once and then he freezes in place. So the cool thing about this is, as I said, you don't have to customize anything for the number of costumes you have here. So if I was to grab like the walking animation here, for example, I think I called it walk. Yeah. So let's type in walk here. And we'll make him walk a little bit slower. Let's tell him to walk at 0.5. So let's get him walking. And you see how he's walking slower. Oh, actually, I set it for 1. Hey, let's try 0.3, and we'll make him walk a little bit faster. There we go, and now he's walking a little bit faster. So we can take these things and use them in any animation we want. So I just went ahead down below here. Here's the code for it. I went and created a little script here that will make him move around just left or right, and all I'm doing is pointing him in direction and then changing my X and pointing him in direction when I move right and changing my X again. And I've got a couple of keyboard commands that do stuff. So this is an example of how you could implement this block inside your own game. So I've just got a simple game here where I'm moving left and right. Let me try doing that. So you can see that when I'm doing nothing, it defaults to an idle animation. If not any key pressed, if I'm not pressing any key, it'll do idle. But if I press a key, it'll start that walking animation going, basically. So it's going to keep him walking. for the entirety of the time that I'm doing it until I stop, and then he'll do an idle animation. If I want him flying, I can hit the B key, and that'll put him into that flying animation for a second until I let go. And there we go. So the flying animation is set not to loop, but if I set it to loop in here, now when I do it, whoop, let's see, let's try that again. Yeah, now he's cycling through it, but very, very slowly, right? Let's try a faster animation, 0.1. Then I'll hit the B key again. No, it's not working. Oh, there it goes. I think I have to stop the program and restart it again to get that working properly. Huh. I'm not quite sure why the delay time is not... It has to do with the pressing a key, probably. If I just did this animation loose on by itself. Oh, I have to stop the program. Just a second here. Stop. And I have to get the reset program running. So there's something about the way I set it up here that that doesn't quite work. Okay, anyway, you guys get the idea. Oh, what's happening here? Let's do the reset player one more time. I'm pretty sure this should work. Flying. Oh, I put the delay in the wrong block. Of course, it was 0.1 is the delay, and the looping is 1 here. That's what was going wrong. Okay. So we put that back into the code here. I bet that'll actually work now. Let's give it a try. So click the green flag. So when I hit the B key, yeah, there he goes. Now he's cycling through the stuff. Sorry, I just didn't implement my own code properly. Anyway, so a really cool little system that's very customizable to your own stuff. I think you'd be pretty happy about using that in one of your own projects. So feel free to steal this code and use it anywhere you want to. I see over on YouTube that we've got a new user, Blue Spy. Haven't met you yet. If you want to tell us a little bit about yourself on the YouTube chat, you can go ahead and do that. Anyone else? Oh, yeah. So Chris is just saying hi to Blue Spy over on the chat. So yeah, I'd love to hear who you are, Blue, and where you came from, and what brings you to the stream here. It's really happy to see new users on here. Okay, so that's it for that. Last week I didn't get to show remixes, unfortunately, and Gamer Davey had worked really, really hard to come up with another Nintendo-themed remix. So he's got a remix of our Cat Climber game. You remember the Cat Climber game was a game where the cat was bouncing around trying to get higher and higher into the sky. Let me show you Davey's version of the remix here. I was really quite impressed with it. So he gave it a little Nintendo theme, climbing on paratroopers. Really nice little bit of music here. That's actually a really nice music file. And I think you have to click to get it going, and then we start flying through the air. Whoa. And whoa. And there are a lot of bad guys here. I don't know if it's even possible to get up higher than that, Davey. Whoa, because you've coded a lot of guys into the program. Anyway, nice little remix. Let me show you again. Let's see if we can get up higher before it gets too crowded over here. Oh, and the bullet hit me and killed me right away. Anyway, so a fun little remix. I think we got to do something to control the population of these guys a little bit, though, because it seems like the numbers are a little bit higher than they should be. After a while, it gets so crowded that you can't, there's not even any room to go down anymore, of course, right? Oh, there's a bullet. I really like the bullet feature that you added there, Davey. It's actually quite cool. And there we go. I smacked into the ground again. Got a little higher there, 700. So, nice... It took you too long, says Davey. So Davey says the reason there was that many bad guys is because I ended up bouncing down too much. I think that's what he means there. Anyway, so a nice little remix. That's good. Let's go on to our block of the week segment. And so our block of the week this week is, let me show you, is the current year. I don't know if you guys have used this block. It's over in Sensing. I just started playing with it today and came up with all sorts of cool uses with it that have to do with time. So if you grab this block here and have a look at the options available, it basically tells you the current year, month, date, day of the week, hour, minute, second. If you want to see what the output looks like from any of these, you can just click on it. So here's an example. 2020 is the current year. And what's the current date? It is the 26th. And what's the current hour? Here in Ottawa, it's 10 a.m. So the hour is 10. The minute is 20, etc. So how could we use this block to do a digital clock? Anyone over on the Discord have any thoughts on how we would do that? Anyone watching on the Discord at all kind of want to chime in? Chris,
I have no idea.
you have no idea, eh? So let's think about this, Chris. Anyone else who wants to jump in? Peter, what do you think, buddy?
Is it like a set variable to current hour?
Yeah. So let's try that. Let's try doing the hour. Let's create a new variable here. We'll make a variable called hour. And we'll set hour to current hour. And let's attach that to a green flag. Good work, Peter. So now I got my hour. Let's right click on it just so that it doesn't say hour, so it just has a large readout. Okay, so current time is, let's click the green flag, and now it's 10 o'clock. We can keep doing that with other variables, right? So let's go ahead and do one for minutes and one for seconds as well. All right, so we'll set minutes to current minutes. And I'm going to be asking you guys a question on Discord, by the way, so get ready to chime in if you know the answer. I just want to get you guys going on this. Okay, so I've got my three variables, my minutes and my seconds. So we'll put large readouts for all of them. And when I click the green flag, we should have a fairly good... Oh, I got to set my seconds to seconds. Sorry, seconds to seconds. Okay, let's see if that works now. Green flag. So the current time is 10:22, 24. Oh, I think my seconds are off here. I've got two different variables for seconds, and I think that's what's confusing me. So it is seconds here, set seconds to current seconds. It is in fact seconds. It is. Oh, so who can tell me why the seconds aren't updating? When I click the green flag, my seconds should be going up, but they're not. Who's the brilliant student who's going to tell me why my seconds aren't going up the way I expect them to? Jake, do you know?
There's no repeat function, right? So it only runs it once.
You got it, yeah. So Jake's been learning a little bit of Scratch. He's done some coding in other languages, but this is your first exposure to Scratch, right? So let's put it all inside.
Yeah, I haven't done much.
Let's put it inside a forever loop here, but you got it, dude. So there we go, and now our seconds are updating, right? We got 18, 19, 20, 21, and it's going up like that. Nice work, Jake. You get a gold star, even if my other students don't. Okay, okay, you guys on Discord, get ready. Oh, Dave, he said no forever loop on the chat. He figured it out. He was just, because of the delay, I didn't see it in time. So good work, Davey. You figured that one out. So what I want to do now is turn this into an actual clock. And I've got some hands here. I've got an hour hand, a minute hand, and a second hand that I've created here. And I'm going to show you how simple and easy it is to turn this, to use this code to create an actual clock that has spinning arms on it, okay? So let's go ahead and I've got some stuff hidden here. I've got a clock background going here. We've got these other guys that are just showing up here. I've got them set up to go to the center of the screen right now as soon as I click the green flag. So I'm going to do that right now. I'm just going to hook this all back up again. And as soon as I click the green flag, you can see they all end up in the middle. They're facing to the right now because that's what the default is. Whenever you draw a character, it basically starts off at 90 degrees. So if I drew this vertical, it would still think it was 90 degrees. That's why it has to be facing to the right, because any character you draw is going to default to 90 degrees here. As I spin this around, one of the things you're going to see is it's really important that you put the center in the right place. If I had this thing properly centered on the screen so that the middle of it was the middle of the screen, my clock wouldn't work the way that I wanted it to. Watch what happens when I try to spin it around. It spins centrally like this, right? We want our clock to spin around this middle spot here. So how do we go about doing that? Any of my students on Discord know how to make it spin around this central spot so that it looks more like a proper clock? Anyone?
You need to move it. You need to move it. Move the sprite so it's not in the actual center.
Yeah. So where should I move it to, Chris?
So one of the ends are in the middle.
Oh yeah, so the middle becomes the end like this. So this is the spot that it's going to rotate around. It's always going to rotate around wherever this is. So if you center the object, it'll rotate around that. But if we put the end here, what you'll see is as we rotate it, it'll actually spin around that central point. I've already done that for the rest of my guys now. So all we have to do now is get our thing lined up with the number of degrees here. Chris or anyone else online, do you have any idea how we would take these clock hands and actually hook them up to the digital clock so that the time was set properly? Who has an idea of how we would code this? Let's start with the second hands, because that one's going to be the most obvious one, I think. We'll be able to see it actually working. So anyone have an idea of how we would go about coding the seconds hand to make it spin around once per minute? Any thoughts? Okay. So if no one has any ideas, just jump in if you start to figure it out, okay? Because I'm going to start to explain it here, and if you get an idea about it. So the clock's, the clock is going to spin around in a circle. How many degrees are there in a circle? There's 360 degrees in a circle, right? So I can tell my thing to point in a direction. I can tell it where to spin by using this command here that says point in direction. When we click inside, you see we already have a little spinny wheel here that will change the direction to 360 degrees, or it goes to, once you get past 180, it goes back to minus. But you could enter a number into there. Like if I went 190, for example, it would go back here to 10 degrees off of this. Let me show you an example. If I type 190, so you don't have to use these negative numbers if you want. It'll actually just remember that you're trying to go over 360 degrees around a circle like this. So we need to put something inside here that will tell it to match up with what our clock is reading, right? So how would we go about doing that? Anyone on Discord have any suggestions?
Do you times it by 6? Or
Yeah, times what by 6?
the seconds.
The seconds variable, right? So I could use the variable here. I already have a variable called seconds. I could pop that in there. So yeah, Peter, you're absolutely right here, but I'll show you guys why we would multiply it by 6. So when I go ahead and click the green flag here, the clock is moving, but it's moving really slowly, right? It should be moving one of these notches every second, but it's moving much more slower because then every second it's changing by 1 degree right now. So when the seconds reads 10, it actually only goes 10 degrees, which is just about this far. So we're trying to get it to go 360 degrees, but right now it's only going to move 60 degrees because it'll move 1 for every second, right? So to get that 60 seconds up to 360, we have to multiply the answer by the number 6. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to put a multiplication in there. Seconds times 6. And let's pop it in there. And now you can see the seconds hand is actually working properly. I didn't have to use a variable there. I could have used just this time stamp one as well. So if I grab the current year block and change it to seconds and pop that in there, that will work the same way because it's just yielding the same information, right? And so now our seconds are showing. And so to do the rest of the hands here, we'd have to do something similar, right? Let me just drag this block over to the minutes, and I'll drag it over to the hours as well so that we can add it there. So let's pop it in there. Point in direction. Now I'm going to change this to current minutes. Is 6 still good for this? Does 6 still work to tell us the time in minutes, guys? Anyone have any thoughts on that? Is that, well, let's test it out and see. Minutes and so
you don't want a times 6. You want times something.
For minutes? Okay, so there's 6.
Yeah.
So there's 60
3.
minutes. It's times 3, you think? Okay, so let's try your theory here. I'm going to put a time 3 here, and then I'm going to click the green flag, and let's see whether our minutes hand is correct here. So what's the current time here in Ottawa? It's 10:30, and it's actually showing 10:15. So it looks like you're not correct about that, Chris. Anyone have a better idea? Kian?
4.5.
4.5? Let's try 4.5.
Isn't it just the same?
Yeah, actually it is, Peter. You're way ahead of us. So 4.5 doesn't work either. It gets us over here. So the number we have to multiply is 6. Why is it 6? So Peter, can you explain why it's 6 again?
Because it's got to get around 360 in 60.
In
Which
60
then
seconds, right? So
Yeah.
the math is so what's the actual math equation you're doing in your head here?
Well, the way I did it was 360
Divided by 60, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So 60 seconds, we're trying to get 360 degrees, so we divide 360 degrees by 60 seconds, and the answer to that is 6. And so there's our answer there. Good. Now hours is a little trickier, right? So let's pop that in here. We'll have this set to hours. So we now know the equation we're supposed to use to do that, right? But how many hours are we talking about here? Guys, so how many hours do we want to keep track of on this clock? Is it 24?
12.
12, right? Because this isn't a 24-hour clock. This is a 12-hour clock, right? So, yeah. So what is 360 divided by 12 is the big answer, right? So we got to figure out what number to put in here to have it going around in equal chunks of 12, basically. Anyone have the answer to that?
It's 30.
30. Good. Thanks, Jake. So I'm going to put a 30 in here, and I'm going to click the green flag, and you can see that our clock is actually set up for 10:37 right now, or 10:32 right now, yeah, which is the actual time here in Ottawa. So pretty cool. Anyway, so that's a good example of how you can use that current year thing to set up realistic clocks going on in your thing. So one of the fun things you could do with this is if you were doing a little digital story or something, for example, that had someone's bedroom in it, like Scratch's bedroom, and he's talking to you, you could actually set the clock in the background of the room to show the real time when the person's watching it. Just a fun little coding trick you guys could do if you wanted to. Okay, so I think that's going to be it for our block of the week segment. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Last thing I want to do today is our guessing game remix. I'm going to ask you guys to participate. I'm trying to get a little more interaction going this week, as you said. To really participate properly, you're going to have to be on Discord with me. But those of you who are just on YouTube, you can type in suggestions to me. So the guys on Discord are going to help me code this. But you guys on YouTube, what I'm going to ask you to do is we're going to try and implement some of your suggestions for how to remix a game that one of you guys has made. So this week, our game of the week is a game by Salima. I don't think Salima's here today. If you're here today, you can say hello to us, dear. So Salima is another one of our students, I believe, from England. And she's from Manchester, I believe, actually. And way back in, I think, June, she made this really cool guessing game that I wanted to show you guys. It was fairly early in her Scratch career, so she didn't know a ton about Scratch. She made a nice little game. She invented this herself and did all the coding herself. And I'll show you how it works right now. I'm going to click the green flag. And she's asking me to pick a number between 1 and 10. I'll pick 3 and hit enter. And I got it right the first time. Okay, so it says hooray. Let me try that one more time here, guys. So let me try guessing 5. And she says higher. So I'll go 8 maybe.
Hey.
Higher. Try 10 maybe. Lower. So we know it's 9 now, right? I'll try 9.
Hey.
Good. All right, bingo, we got that. So what I'm asking you guys at home to help me do is make this game a little bit more awesome, right? We're going to do some extra stuff to improve it. Anyone over on YouTube who wants to text in some suggestions. I'm going to try and code it right now, and we're going to try to improve this game so it can be any suggestions you have that will change the play a little bit to make it a little bit more fun, or to give you some more information about what's happening or whatever. Anyone have any thoughts at all? First of all, before we get going here, I have my own ideas. Chris?
There could be a start screen that says "Welcome to the guessing game."
Oh, that's fantastic. That's a great idea. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. So how would we go about doing that, Chris? You want to walk me through it?
Create a new sprite, which
Yeah.
is just a big
Yeah,
color.
I've done that.
basically.
Okay, so the way that I'm going to do that is I'm going to convert it to bitmap, because when you try and fill with a paint bucket, it usually doesn't work unless you're in bitmap mode. So I'm going to pick a color. What color you want to do, Chris?
Blue.
What's that? Blue?
Green.
Green. Okay, let's do green here. So I'll do a nice green color here. And we'll just add some text to it. Now, we don't want to do anything fancy right now because, well, I'd be wasting your time. But I'm just going to pick a new color here, like black or something. And I'm going to go, welcome to my guessing game. All right, so I've got the... Now, I've got a bit of a problem here, which is that since I'm in bitmap mode, as soon as I get away from the thing, it's going to be hard-coded onto the screen. I actually don't want to do that. So I'm going to actually... Oh, I can't even copy-paste here as well. So I did the background in bitmap mode, but I'm going to do the rest in vector mode. And the reason for that is we don't want stuck on the screen so it can't move around. Let me try showing you again. Welcome to my guessing game, and let's add a little thing in between here. We could change the font around if we wanted to. We could go to like more of a marker font. We could change the size by dragging it out there. Now, how would we add an image to this? Who can tell me how to go about adding an image to this? There's no import image function in Scratch, right? Anyone else want to tell me? Okay, Chris, you can go ahead.
First, you need to find the image.
Yeah.
And
so let's go ahead and we'll use Giga because that's what Salima put in her file here. So let's find a Giga project. So I've got Giga loaded up in my sprite here, but it's not on my placard here. So how do I get it on there?
you need to copy it and paste it.
Yeah, so I'm just going to highlight it. It might be in multiple pieces here. So if I just click on it and copy, I might not get the whole thing, right? I'm not going to get his legs. So the first thing I want to do is drag a loop around it so I have the whole thing. I could group it if I wanted to right now as well to put it all into one piece. And then copy it and then paste it over here. Paste, just like that. And now I can place it wherever I want. So I just wanted to tell you guys the importance of doing this stuff mostly in vector mode. As soon as I convert this to a bitmap, I'm in a bit of trouble here because I can no longer pick this guy up and move him around. He's part of the image now, which is a bit of a bummer. So as soon as you go into bitmap mode, you lose a lot of your ability to edit this stuff. I think I can undo and go back to vector mode here again. Yeah, here I am. So when I'm in vector mode, I can pick stuff up, move it around, resize it. But when you're in bitmap mode, you're always stuck with what you have there. Okay, so we've got our background screen here. Anyone want to help me code it now? Anyone?
Me.
Okay, Chris, go ahead. What do you want to do?
When you click the green flag on events first.
Yeah, let's do that. And what's going to happen?
Show.
We'll
And you need to show.
Okay, let's go show. All right. And so when we click the green... Go ahead. So we want it to disappear, right? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
So how do we make it disappear?
And then you can just put some kind of music or something, and then you can have, if you don't do that, you could just have a wait sound. No, a wait for a minute.
Yeah, let me just I've just grabbed a piece of music here. So instead of a wait, we'll actually add music, your first suggestion. So I'll go play sound. I just loaded up a piano sound here. So
play sound until done.
Until done. And then what happens after it's done?
Hide.
Hide, good, yeah. So let's go ahead and do that. Anyone else want to jump in, key in, or anyone else want to suggest what we can do next?
Can you add to the front, like the front welcome to my guessing game, forever set ghost effect to like 99 or something?
Oh, you want
So
to...
then even when like on the thumbnail of it is that welcome to my guessing game.
Oh, I see. Because otherwise, hold it. So in the thumbnail, in the YouTube thumbnail, well, it will be visible here because it's only when it's hidden at the beginning that it won't appear in the thumbnail, right? So I'm not sure that's really necessary, Peter. That's I like your idea about ghosting it in though. So I've got a bit of a it's working properly now. What I would like to do though, Peter, is make it so that if you don't want to sit through the whole piano thing, you don't have to though. How can we make it so that we can get past this without having to listen to the whole piano sound? Anyone have any ideas?
Me.
Okay, go ahead, Chris.
You need to do when the sprite is clicked, hide.
When this sprite is clicked. So
No, stop other scripts in the sprite.
Okay, so when the sprite is clicked, let's go ahead and grab that block right now. When the sprite is clicked, so that will only work when we click on this green thing. And what's going to happen? We're going to stop. Where you want to stop other scripts in the sprite? Is that what you suggested? And that will still.
Yes.
You think that will stop the music? Let's give it a try here. So that doesn't stop the music. It because the music's stuck in a loop here. I don't think it once music starts going, you can't use stop other scripts in the sprite to stop it. How else can we stop the music?
You can go on sounds.
Yeah.
And stop all sounds.
Stop all sounds. So that'll work. Let's try that again. We'll click the green flag. Yeah, beautiful. So that worked nicely. Now we've got some other issues here, right? The music is still playing from the original song as well, right? So there's a few other things we're going to want to do to clean up. But first thing we want to have happen here is we don't want our game actually starting when we click the green flag. It's already asking us. It's already asking us to start playing the game here, right? And that's no good. How can we make it so that the game doesn't start when we click the green flag? I haven't heard from... just a second, I want to see if Kian's online. Kian, are you available? Do you want to help answer this question, buddy? No? Okay, Chris, go ahead.
Go on the Giga Sprite.
Okay, we're on the Giga Sprite.
And then instead of when the green flag is clicked, you can do a broadcast.
Oh, okay, yeah. So we'll broadcast a message from the starting screen to Giga. And let's do that right now. So we'll go broadcast a new message. Well, we don't need to do that. We'll go when I receive a message here. And he's going to start when he gets a thing saying start or something like that. Okay, so we'll type in start here. And then over here, we'll broadcast that message. When should we broadcast that message?
After the hide or after all stops. Stop all sounds.
Yeah, we need it in both places so that we can start the game whether we circumvent it or not. So now our game's not going to start and we're not going to see this window until we're done. Let me try it out. I'll click the green flag and listen to the music. Whoa, I still have some other music going in the background. There must be a second. Why? Isn't that weird? Why did two different songs start playing? This shouldn't go until it receives the start message, right? Is it?
Is it in the background code?
Yeah, there's something. Oh, maybe in the background code. Oh, there is. Clever boy, Peter. Nice work. So the background has its own code here, and we have to put a when I receive start there as well. Okay, beautiful. So let's go ahead and do that. Yeah, that's a little better now. And if I want to circumvent that and get out of it, I can click. And then we're into our game again. Nice. Good, good. All right, we implemented that quite nicely. Anyone else have any suggestions on ways that they'd like to remix this game and improve it a little bit? Go ahead and shout it out on YouTube. Anyone who's on there, Davey or anyone else have a suggestion?
You could implement a scoring system.
Yeah, a scoring system. That would be really good. So, Jake, why don't you walk me through that?
Okay, so my idea was to implement a scoring system where, you know, it keeps track of the number of guesses that you've got, done.
Yeah,
Right,
yeah.
just kind of like golf, the lower score, the better, and all that.
I like that. And at the end, we can actually say what the score is. We can have Giga or someone say your score, or you did it in 10
Right,
guesses or
bingo,
whatever. Yeah.
hooray! Your score is.
Okay, good, good. So, who wants to help me code this? Anyone have any thoughts? Jake, it's your idea. If no one else wants to jump in, can we get you started? I know you're new to Scratch, so I just wanted to see. I'm going to put you on the spot here a little bit. Do you have any
Okay,
thoughts on how we go about doing this?
So,
first of all, we need a variable, right, for the score.
Correct.
So we're going to go ahead and, so I'll get you started on here. So we're going to go to our variables. We're going to go make a variable, and we'll call it guesses. All right, there we go. So we have this variable now. We can set it and we can change it, right? So what are we going to want to do with it for starters?
when it says ask, guess a number between 1 and 10, you'll add 1 to guesses.
Yeah, so we'll change our guesses by 1 here. Good. Now, the one thing you might not know about Scratch is, Jake, not having used it much, is that variable, when it changes, it won't go back to 0 again when we restart our game. It'll just keep counting guesses every time that we play.
Okay, so then wouldn't you have to, when you click the green flag, set guesses to 0?
Yeah, exactly. We'll set guesses to 0. Okay, so let's try it out here. So let me try guessing 4. I'm gonna move this guesses out of the way. Hey, it didn't give us an answer, eh? Oh, let me try that again. Let me try
Mr.
5.
T,
Yeah, higher.
as well, at the moment, while we're testing it, we can disable the music.
That's an excellent idea. You're finding it hard to hear me, I bet, with the music going.
Yeah.
Okay, that's probably a good plan. So I'm just going to pull this out of here in the backdrop. So I'm going to leave the piano music on now because we don't really have to worry too much about that. So let's click the green flag again. There we go. And so now we're guessing a number. Let me try guessing 4. Oh, and it didn't give me the answer the first time, eh?
Right.
Why did that not happen? If answer is less than secret number, I'll say higher or say lower. So why? That is weird. Let me try that one more time. We'll try 4, because I've tried this game many times and it works perfectly. Did we do something to break it? So it seems to be stuck in a loop where it's not doing that. I ask a question, it changes the value of the guesses. If answer equals secret number, we say that, and then if answer in the secret
Wouldn't it make sense to put the change guesses in between the 2 if loops because it's running through the guesses first?
Yeah, sorry, change the number of guesses
In between the if loops when
right here is what you're suggesting. Okay, I don't know if that really changes the gameplay that much, but so let me try again. We'll go 4. And so what was it that I did here that suddenly changed the functionality of this game? That's weird. So it's stuck inside this loop now. I'll guess 4. Higher. So it worked that time. 3. Higher. It's working now. 1. It's saying higher. So does putting guesses in there somehow change anything? Let me try that one more time. Now we'll put it back into the proper spot. So let me try putting a 5 in. And now it stopped working. Oh no. What? Higher. 3. Higher. I don't understand why it didn't work that first time because it seems to be working perfectly now. Let's try 6. And the first time I try it, it doesn't work. Then the next time, it works the second time. So why would is it adding that one block, or is it just that sometimes it doesn't want to work? So let's try one more time here. This sounds like a timing or a code precedence issue where something's happening in the wrong order. 5. Yeah, so that's not the problem. That is really weird. So it's not the first time that we enter and ask. So we're asking the question, then it's evaluating the answer. If our answer is equal to it, and otherwise if answer, and then it's looping around and checking again. I don't see any good reason why this wouldn't work, eh? Anyone else?
So does it have anything to do with the waiting when it says ask number between 1 and 10 and wait? Like, is there a certain time that you're supposed to wait?
So no, it's just waiting for the answer. Basically, as soon as you hit, it's waiting for you to hit the enter key to do the answer. Then it'll immediately get into this other loop here, and I am not quite sure why it isn't working properly here. Huh? It might. So it receives a start. Is there anything happening here in the background? That's just running if answer is equal to, I think this was inside of the forever a minute ago. 5. So the first time I enter it, it doesn't work, and the second time it does. This is quite a mystery here, guys. I don't quite understand this. So it's repeating around in a loop here. Maybe it's running around the loop 10 times somehow by accident. I'm gonna no, that wouldn't make sense because it continues to work after the first time it doesn't work. So it guesses the question, it checks the answer. If the answer is correct, it'll do that. If not, it'll evaluate it and say higher or lower. It's stuck on the guessing. Maybe it's because I hit an enter instead of clicking on this check mark. Let me try that. This is like a weird scratch quirk or something. Eh? Let me try clicking on the check mark. The first time I do it, it doesn't do anything. And wait, if answer... Well, this is a real puzzle for me. I'm going to try putting this into a forever loop and see if that makes a difference. I don't think it will, though. All right. So I might have to come back to you next week with some kind of a solution for this, because I am stumped about why this doesn't work the first time that we do it. The first time it ignores you, and then the second time it gives you the answer. All right. If anyone wants to chime in on that, I think we're going to move on, though, because I don't want to sit here debugging this for hours. That doesn't really make the broadcast very fun. So let's go ahead and continue coding this thing. So we're going to put that number of guesses back in. It doesn't really matter where it goes, Jake. I think that either way, it's going to change the number of guesses by 1. We've reset it to 0 here again. And so let me try playing the game again. I just want to see if that guesses count goes up after the first time that we try this. So I'm going to guess 4 and hit enter. And our number of guesses didn't go up, so it never got past that initial ask thing and started doing the evaluation loop. That was a good little bit of troubleshooting. So why would it have ignored us the first time? Okay. That is a real mystery. I'm going to have to play around with that a little bit and see what's going on, but we can continue to work around that anyway. So now at the end of the game, when the game is over, let's go back to that again. We're inside here. If answer is less than secret number, then switch to, if answer is less than secret number. What? No, that's not the way it's supposed to be, right? It should be if... So she originally had it set for switch backdrop to party if... Okay. I'm not going to worry about this background stuff right now. I think so. What I think we're going to want to do is, so when we get the hooray bingo here, that's where we're going to say the score, right? So this is the tricky part. So here, so we're going to say hooray, and then we're going to say the number of guesses. So we want to say hooray, you did it in a certain number of guesses. Who wants to walk me through how we're going to do that? Right now, I can only type things in here, and I can't type the answer to the question, right? Anyone want to walk me through it? Chris, you have a thought on how we'd do that?
You need to put guesses in where it says higher or lower.
Okay, so we'll say guesses, but then it'll just say that number, right?
Yeah, so you need to put,
So we wanted to say, hooray, you did it in blank guesses, right? So how do we combine the text stuff that we typed with the variable, right? So we got this variable here that's going to tell us the number of guesses, but how do we get it to say the number of guesses at the end?
You need to have.
You stumped? Okay, we don't want to keep things going too long here, so let me start to explain it to you guys. So what we're trying to do is combine a bunch of information into one say statement. To do that, we're going to use some of our text concatenating functions. Concatenating just means taking two pieces of text and mixing them together. So we've got a couple of these functions inside our operators here that deal with how to join text and how to detect text and get it to handle text. There's one here called join apple and banana. The way that it works is when I click it here, you see it takes what's in here and mashes them together into one piece of output. We've used this in a couple of games. If I plop this right down here under hooray, I can say hooray, your number of guesses is, and then on the right, I'm going to put a space at the end of there, so it's not is 5, but is space 5. And I'll put the number of guesses here where it says banana. So I think this should work properly right now. Let's give it a try. Click on it. And so I'll guess a number, and I guess I have to do it twice before it actually recognizes me. So 4, and it's saying higher. So let's try 7. Higher. Let's try 9. Bingo! So it was 9. Hooray, your number of guesses is 3. Beautiful. Now, how would we get it to say, hooray, you did it in 3 guesses? Anyone have any ideas? Nope. Okay, so I'll show you what to do. So if you want 3 different conditions in here, we're going to have to drag another join into the existing join. So when I drag this into the spot where banana is, now I have 3 different spots where I can add stuff. So I'm going to go hooray, you, hooray. Let's just delete a bunch of this stuff. It's hard to highlight text in Scratch, I find. I'll just use my keyboard to do it. Hooray, you guessed, or you did it in, and then space, and then we'll put guesses in the middle here. And then we'll write the word guesses, and then put an exclamation mark here. All right, let's test it out again. So the first one doesn't work for some reason. We'll say 4 again, lower. Let me try a 2, or yeah, 2. Higher. Oh, I typed 3 at first, and that was the actual answer. 3, bingo. Hooray, you did it in 3 guesses. Now you can see I forgot to put the space after the word guesses. We can't do that in the variable, so we'll have to do it in the guesses here. I'll just add a space before the word guesses, and then we got it. I think while we're at it, we're going to add a little sound effect here. So I'm just going to go to my choose a sound. I'll go to effects, and I'll do a, some kind of, yeah, we'll do this collect sound. There, that's good. So let's add that sound effect. Once we correctly get this start sound collect, and we'll have that happen right here when we answer the question. Okay, so let's try it one last time. Guess number between 1 and 10. We'll try 5. 5 again. Higher. I cannot figure out why that doesn't work the first time. Lower. Let's try 7. Lower. 6. It's got to be 6, eh? There we go. Bingo. Hooray, you did it in 4 guesses. And then if I was doing this, remixing this further, I would probably put it into an applause sound or something like that. So there's a couple of ideas on how to remix this game and turn it into something better. I hope we learned a little bit about Scratch today. So what's going to happen is I'm going to save this into a remix room that's called Extreme Makeover Scratch Edition. And you'll see the address for that inside the description for this video file if you want to go look at it later on. So if what I'm going to do is invite the rest of you guys to remix this game and turn it into something cool if you want to. If you remix it into something that's worthwhile, I will show it on next week's stream. And if you want your own game to be featured on Extreme Makeover Scratch Edition, I'm going to ask you guys to email me, okay? So here's my email address. It's info@chromeworks.ca. And so just email me on that address whenever you can, and just send me a link to the game, or just let me know what the name of your game is, or where you saved it. You could save it into the student showcase. Normally I'm pulling these projects out of the student showcase, and you'll be able to find the description for that in the file description as well. So that wraps it up for this week. So it's 11 o'clock, which means the first part of my RPG game has been released. So you can go over to my YouTube channel and view that right there. Otherwise, I think we're wrapping up for this week. So please do let me know. Drop me an email if you, or send me a message elsewhere on Discord as well if you're interested in if you have any suggestions or ideas for how to make this stream better. Let me know what you think as well. I'm trying a different format here. I'm trying to make things more interactive and more kind of beginner-centric for people who don't know a lot about Scratch. I'm hoping to get new Scratchers in here this week or in future weeks who are interested in learning a little bit more. You guys over on the Discord, Chris and Peter and Kian and Jake as well, I'm going to ask you guys to kind of be my experts. So even though we're handling some simpler stuff here that might be that you guys might be able to do, your part in this is going to be to help kind of drive the broadcast forward and take part in the games and activities that I'm doing here, and learn about Scratch and help the kids who are a little bit behind you learn a little bit more about Scratch as well. So I'm hoping that this new format works for you guys, and I'm pretty excited to keep playing around with it, and I'm hoping that Jake will help me improve it over the course of the week as well. So let me know if you have any ideas. I am going to sign off for now, so I will see you guys